book in a bev.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of A Book and a Bev. I'm Briony, we've got Ellie and we've got Georgia. We are missing one of our co-hosts, Claire, who she'll be in and out for a while as she is studying. That woman is insane. She is doing like 2 courses and 3 jobs because she is a psycho. We support her choices though. We miss you.
Yeah,
but something different this week. We are doing a little bit of a Q&A to get to know us and also introducing the Fishbowl, which is something we're going to be bringing in to bring books into the podcast.
Yay! Oh my gosh, it was really hard answering the questions. Did you find them hard?
I know, I was struggling. I am so surprised at the amount of responses we got to that Instagram story as well.
Same.
With like giving us recommendations people that none of us know either.
Yeah, it's very
actual
exciting.
Listeners.
All right, so what are we drinking, ladies, today?
Oh, look, I was just going to have a cup of tea because it's a Monday night and I was feeling a little tame, but then I had a day with my 2 kids solo parenting and now I'm drinking a glass of wine.
Yes.
So that about sums up my day.
Fuck it up.
I am drinking actually a gift from you guys. I am drinking this beautiful, it is Tread Softly Natural Botanicals Dry Gin from Victoria. It is pretty and green and super cute.
Is it nice?
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, I'm mixing it fairly strongly with lemonade, but nothing's like killing me, so that's promising.
Well, I'm drinking Wild Turkey. Go hard or go home on this Monday evening, y'all.
Oh, it is.
Been a day, guys.
Yeah, look, I'm just living the dream. I was going to be drinking CC, so I was going to be a little bit tamer, but then I didn't have any Coke, so I was like, well, Wild Turkey it is. Go hard.
Wild Turks. I feel like it's a drink that will put hairs on your chest.
Yeah, it's definitely like, I like all bourbon. I like all whiskey.
I'm a big bourbon gal.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bourbon or a whiskey that I've ever tasted that like I don't like. So like, I used to drink when I was like growing up Woodstock. Woodstock is what you would. Woodstock will put hairs on your chest.
Right.
Woodstock is
See, I'm Scottish, so growing up, if I was to have whiskey with my dad, it was neat.
Yeah.
With just the tiniest little splash of water, and that's it.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
Sip it.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm Scottish too. So I
yes. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Are we related?
Thank God. Probably.
Oh my god.
Right down the line, there's probably some incest going on, and then we're something related.
No doubt.
I have absolutely zero culture in my bloodline, so that's good.
Oh,
I'm just white on white on white.
Yeah, I'm just straight colonizer, so that's all I've got going for me. I'm so sorry. Just to kick off, the Fishbowl. That's right, that's in my notes. So what we have here is a giant glass jar. And we are going to take your book recommendations that you send through to us and also every now and then chuck in some of our own. And this is going to be what gives us our books to cover. So if you want us to cover anything in particular, like maybe like a new Sarah J. Maas book or, you know, like the new From Blood and Ash book, you know, let us know. You've got to send us a message or respond to when we put it on our Instagram story and it will be going in the bowl and we'll cover it on an episode. We'll probably do one of these maybe every 10 episodes. There's a little bit of a touch base.
Look, we've all sort of maintained that we like a romance, we like a fantasy novel, but we're open. Look, we've covered Stephen King thus far.
Yeah.
So we're open. Whatever you throw at us, we will do it.
So
just in English.
Yeah, look, she's not multilingual. She can't do that.
No.
I'd love to imagine I could, but let's be real. You know,
anything non-fiction.
Yeah, that's probably where I draw the line. You know?
Yeah, we can't really make too many dirty jokes about someone's actual life.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to talk about bull slap and smut.
Yeah,
good try.
We'll probably get sued. So, you know, to start the ball rolling, I'm going to give you my book recommendations for the ones I'm chucking in the bowl that I want us to cover. as we have established, I love me some Death and Dick. I'm the fantasy gal. I love being off this world. So my recommendations are in that type of ilk. I would really love to see us do Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerry Maniscalco. I don't know. She was one of the first authors that James Patterson signed up to his publishing house when he started a YA publishing house. She did the Stalking Jack the Reaper series, but her Kingdom of the Wicked series is like demons, murder, smut, and also a lot of good food descriptions. It really makes you hungry. So I want to do that.
Now that you say that, I so see it.
Yeah.
Have you read that too?
Yes, I have. I've read Kingdom of the Wicked and Kingdom of the Curse. Yes.
It's a goodie, and it's not a biggie, but it's a goodie.
Yes, it's another I want to tear my hair out because I just want them to fuck kind of book.
Oh, yes.
I like that kind of tension in my life.
That's like Crescent City. I will tear my fucking hair out. I'm like, fuck
Still don't look at me.
I started Crescent City last night.
Get ready.
You're right.
You just
info dump.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, wait, there's so many fucking creatures.
So much. Once you get to like chapter 5.
Yeah,
okay.
That's chapter 5. Yeah.
And are wolves, do they look like wolves or do they look like people with fur?
I think of them as like actual just swap into a wolf, like Jacob in Twilight movies.
Yeah, but then there's parts where like the wolves are talking in their wolf form, and I'm like, how? How is this happening? Is the wolf like talking? I'm like, what is going on? Oh my god!
Is there smut in this? Like
yes.
Silver Flame smut?
Not it's a slow burn book one.
Okay.
Slow burn,
but it's good. It is good.
Good.
You'll cry by the end of it. Kingdom of the Wicked, going in the fishbowl.
Yay!
Yay!
My other recommendation is, I know I've spoken about this particular author a couple times, it is Nevernight by J. Kristoff. I think I've talked about like Empire of the Vampire a bunch because I love this man. He's an Australian author. It's very dark. It's like, imagine if you were like a girl going to become an assassin and you could like control shadows essentially, and you had like a shadow demon cat that ate your fear.
Wow.
What?
A shadow demon cat.
Yeah, he's called Mr. Kindly. Don't let that make you go, oh, kitty cat, yeah. It's like, no, it is assassins. It is brutal. It's real good.
King. Okay.
Never not. And that is a series that's finished, so we wouldn't have to suffer as well. We could finish that and not have to wait years.
Oh, thank God. Because Sarah. Well, I tried 2 book recommendations, but I've struggled. So I'm gonna give it out to you two to see which you would prefer. I'm gonna kind of do a description of some of them because I just can't decide, and I want to only put 2 in the bowl, but I just want to see what you guys are vibing with. So number 1, Oh You're Perfects by Colleen Hoover. Oh, I cannot. This one overtook Ugly Love for me.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it really so it's about like a couple. It switches between them first meeting and then them currently, which is their marriage falling apart. So, and it goes through all of their struggles, what they've been through, and like IVF, like really terrible, like miscarriage trauma. Like it's terribly, terribly tragic, but it's so beautiful. Colleen just has this way of writing trauma that just rips. And the entire time I was reading this book, it was just tears. So that's definitely one of my recommendations. It's a sad, sad book, but it is beautiful.
Is that the one that references Tate and Miles?
It's not. That is November 9. But yes. So all your perfects, put it in that bowl.
Put it in the bowl.
Do it.
In the bowl.
That's my top one. So then I've got these next 3, which is like, depends on which bowl you would like to go with. So
right.
I've got The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. That is a fantasy book. It's an assassin arranged marriage type book, and it's about, she pretends to be this, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, oh, I'm just a woman, but really she's an assassin. She's gone get him. That's the whole premise of the book, but she finds out certain things that it's a whole vibe.
That's seems right up my alley. I love an arranged marriage.
I really, really like that book. It's one of the only other fantasy books outside of Sarah J. Maas and like from Blood and Ash, that I've rated 5 stars. Loved it. Yeah.
Ooh. In my
okay.
mind, I picture myself as an assassin. So yeah, I can get on board.
So do I. Every book, I'm like, I'm the assassin. I am the murderer.
Yep. It is at this moment that I realise the glass is green, not the gin.
You're like, uh-oh.
I'm like, damn, this is like real clear.
And then I've got These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan, which is another fantasy. It's A Cruel Prince meets A Court of Thorns and Roses. It's a sexy, action-packed fantasy about a girl who is caught between 2 treacherous fairy courts and their dangerously seductive princes. Bree hates the Fae and refuses to have anything to do with them, even if that means starving on the street. But when her sister is sold to the sadistic king of the Unseelie court to pay a debt, she'll do whatever it takes to get her back, including making a deal with the king himself to steal 3 magic relics from the Seelie court. Gaining unfettered access to the Seelie court is easier said than done. Bree's only choice is to pose as a potential bride for Prince Ronan, and she soon finds herself falling for him. Unwilling to let her heart distract her, she accepts the help from a band of Unseelie misfits with their own secret agenda. As Bree spends time with their mysterious leader, Finn, she struggles to resist his seductive charm. Caught between 2 dangerous courts, Bree must decide who to trust with her loyalty and with her heart.
Ooh.
It's actually really, really good.
Ooh, okay. Ellie, what's your verdict?
Why not both?
You guys want to? I mean, at the end of the day, I want to cover it one day, so may as well just chuck it in.
What's going on? These Hollow Vows.
Because I'm getting real Nesta vibes if she wasn't a cunt. Like if she'd gone to fight for Feyre.
Yeah, and she like the main character in this book, like one of the princes isn't who he seems, and like it's this whole like the good seems good, but is he really evil? And then the evil seems evil, but is he really evil? It's that kind of, you're like, wait, which side am I on? Do I like the naughty one? Do I like the nice one? Is the nice one actually nice? What's going on?
Ooh, okay. All right.
I'm in.
Yeah.
In. They're going
Put it
in.
in the bowl.
And then just to quickly add another one in there because I am the smart queen. Priest by Sierra Simone. I think it's Sierra.
I think we should do that next, to be honest.
Honestly,
I'm on board.
I'm so.
I might need like a hard refresh after Crescent City too.
Yeah, I'm keen for that. My sex life tends to improve when I'm reading smutty books.
It is definitely on Kindle. So
all right.
Look out, Lockie.
Priest, it's 354 pages, so it's a smaller than average book, but that is about a priest and
some sacred oil,
and it's brilliant. It's my favorite smut book.
Okay, some bold.
That is so smutty, but it is actually has a plot, and it's not a shit plot, not entirely shit. So. Because like a lot of these smut books that I read, the plot just goes down the toilet because they're, they can't just be, oh, I don't like you. And then there's like tension for like 2 seconds and then they're like, actually, no, I want to fuck you. It has to be like, no, we can't do this. But like,
we should do this.
But like, we can't do it. And then it's like, there's like the tension building, but then it finally cracks. That's all you want.
Okay, sign me up. I'm down.
I am in.
Yeah.
I have an embarrassing confession. So, back when I had Charlie and I was on maternity leave, I wasn't back into reading, but I was dipping my toe in the water. And I dipped my toe into the water of those apps you can download, which give you like pick and choose the way you want your book to go.
Oh my God, yes.
And it's all like billionaires. You fall in love with the billionaire CEO and he's your boss. And then he bends you over the table. It was all along that vibe. Mm-hmm. And look, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of loved it. There didn't have to be a plot. I was involved. I was there.
I will still rate a smut book 3 stars, even if it's got no fucking plot. Because I was explaining to Briony before, there's a book that I read, which is about like the triad. It's like a multiple book. It's like 3 books, but it's small books. And the review, all I said was like, hold on, let me get it up. I'll read it for you too. Oh, fuck, it's brilliant. So yeah, it's called Scars by Dana. Oh, so this woman, she is good. Dana Isley? Isley? Yeah.
Throwing shit out here.
She does Games We Play, Dipped in Holly. Like, these are like
I have heard of Dipped in Holly.
80-page books that are just like of one night of absolute mind-blowing sex. Like, it's amazing. Games We Play is about like a faceless gamer. Yeah, so this is my review of this book called Scars, which is about like a triad, the mafia group. Smart. Gave me Den of Vipers, but triad. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. My review is just my favorite quotes. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'm going to fuck you until you come so many times that you'll beg me to stop. And even then, I'm going to continue to fuck you. I'm going to fuck you so hard that every time you move tomorrow, you'll remember how it felt to have me inside you. And then
watching Ellie's reaction for this is giving me everything I ever needed. Like, Ellie is like, oh my word.
The next quote, so responsive, which is just, that's all I need. That quote, that's all I need in life. Next quote, I whimpered. What the fuck was wrong with me that this was what turned me on? He gripped it harder, forcing my jaw to move and my mouth to open. He leaned closer and spit right into my mouth.
Oh my god, Ellie's reactions to this is literally just, oh my god.
This is all you're going to get during a smut book, guys.
Ellie is like squirming in her chair, she's like jumping back.
You're just like getting hot.
Like it's coming at her.
My eyes are watering.
Next quote. My own personal demon walked through those doors, guns fucking blazing, covered in blood and dripping in sex. I could have thrown her down on top of the dead bodies and blood and at my feet and fucked her right here. Fuck me, she looked beautiful. And then the last one is Tristan's hand wrapped around my throat and squeezed, blocking off my air supply. My gaze drifted back to him as I opened my mouth and stuck out my tongue. Good girl, he cooed and spat in my mouth.
Oh, it's the spitting.
I can't do with the spitting. I'm not about the spitting, but I literally would die if like a man looked at me and was like, my own personal demon walked through the door.
This is, I've got like my highlights of like what I highlighted in the book. And one of these is, be careful, Scarlett, stick your tongue out again and I might be inclined to find something it can lick, especially with that tongue piercing. What a nice little surprise that is. And her response was, fuck you, I would bite your dick off if you put it anywhere near my mouth.
So like that.
Amazing.
So funny.
Oh, fuck. Ellie, what's your recommendations?
Right. I've got an odd one for you all. The Outlander series.
I will die on this hill.
Have you read it?
I haven't, but I watched.
You've watched.
Yeah, and that was, oh my God, that man.
And that man.
I used to, so I did work experience back in high school at Dimmicks, and we had this day where we were in the romance aisle, and like, you know, I was like a teenager, so I'm laughing over, I'm like, why would someone find like a shirtless man in a kilt attractive? Flash forward to Outlander, Jamie Fraser.
Now I find men kilts attractive.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, look, I've watched this only like a first couple of seasons, I think. But I've heard, obviously, the books are always better than the made for TV. And I think I'd love to delve into the Scottish history side of it all. Like, it's going to tick that box for me, and also the romance. And I'm assuming there's going to be a bit of smut because there was in the series. Yeah. And it's also fantasy because, you know, that's not real life.
Stones.
Yep. So, yeah, that's why I've included it there. I thought that would be a good little journey. But obviously, may not be everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay too.
No, I'm all here for it. Let's do it. Put it in.
The next one is actually a book I haven't read, so I'm not sure if I should be recommending it to anyone. Because as I have mentioned before, I'm only new on my rediscovering for reading journey, so I'm just following whatever these girls say. A book that I have seen come across TikTok a little bit is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which may be a little bit different to the books that we've done before. I'll read you the blurb. The case is closed. 5 years ago, schoolgirl Andy Bell was murdered by Sal Singh. The police know he did it. Everyone in town knows he did it. But having grown up in the same small town that was consumed by the murder, Pippa Fitz Amaboy isn't so sure. When she chooses the case as the topic for her final year project, she starts to uncover secrets that someone in town desperately wants to stay hidden. And if the real killer is still out there, how far will they go to keep Pip from the truth?
Ooh, no, I like it. Put it in, yeah.
And it's got really good ratings on Goodreads. So
Done.
Like,
Tuck the bad boy in.
and also, like, I remember in my final year, you guys would have had to do your research projects. and you
Oh,
took all
fucking
Australian curriculum.
research project.
9/11
Yes.
conspiracies.
Good. I'm glad you said that because I was the Columbine High School massacre.
Wait, my fucking Jesus Christ!
What was
No,
yours, Briony?
What are the possible effects of smoking on singers?
Oh, fuck.
And I literally used that one article about Adele saying, "Oh, I like the way smoking makes my voice sound," and then I went and interviewed my friends in bands, and that was my research project.
I love how
Aaron.
we laugh at yours, but yours is the most normal out of
Yeah.
You're like 9/11, Columbine. I'm like,
Yeah. Everyone in my year level was like, netball.
I don't even remember what people in my year did because I was so focused on. I did like a document. I did like multiple documentaries that I watched about like conspiracy, like what the most plausible ones were, which is terrible because really it's a terrible tragedy what happened. But Georgia was clearly not believing that the government wasn't behind everything. She's crazy. But
She's got a tinfoil hat on.
I wasn't prepared for that.
I got really dark. True crime fan.
oh,
Fanatic.
absolutely.
So we've all chucked some recommendations in the fishbowl. Got some nice paper here. Trying to, shake it. Don't know if you could hear that. It's fine. What we do have is some requests and some recommendations from you guys, our listeners. So this made me so happy.
We have listeners. Thank you.
We have people.
It's not just our mums.
Literally.
So we put a post up on our Instagram saying, what do you want us to cover? And we're going to do this every now and again, and we are going to use it. So please get in contact with us. We love you. So just to shout out a couple of the ones we got, because we got more than I was expecting. So we've got from Alex Wilson, we've got Normal People by Sally Rooney, which one of my close friends has also been reading that at the moment, and she has been raving about it. So Normal People.
Yeah,
I've read Normal People.
You have?
That's the
There's,
best.
yeah. So this is one of the ones I got back into before Akata.
Ooh.
And it is literally about two normal people and their on again, off again relationship throughout their teen and early adult years. There's a series about it on Stan, I believe it's streaming on. So I'd be interested to watch that because I've heard rave reviews about the series. I will say, Briony, it's not going to be your vibe.
Right?
No, nothing like that. But I think there's not enough going on for you to be. Yeah.
I love how you were like rape. like I was like,
literally.
Briony's like, that's the one thing I can't handle. Rape. Nope. Get it out.
No, it's just boring. That's it.
Too often, like, that's one of the reasons I stopped watching the Outlander show is because, like, by the time that this same character's been raped for, like, the third time, I was like, I can't keep doing this.
You probably wouldn't like this, like, well, the series that I'm reading at the moment, because there's, like, the cult is all, like, ugh, terrible.
Sexual violence happens. It can be part of stories. It should be part of stories, but used in a good way. What I don't like is, say, for example, what happened with Sansa Stark in the Game of Thrones TV adaptation, where she gets raped brutally when in the books she wasn't even in that part of the country. Yeah, and it's like you've literally just used that woman's trauma to push your plot, and I don't agree with that type of thing. And when it's like the same character, like obviously historically there was a lot of sexual violence. I mean, it's changed over time, but I definitely get really, really frustrated when that's just like, oh, look, we're just going to chuck in another rape. And, but it was just too much for me. So I tend to avoid things when.
And it's just so awful to think that was the reality.
Yeah. I use books to escape, so I don't need to be reminded about how shit the world is.
This
Fair enough.
this book that I'm reading at the moment, it like talks about, because it's obviously got like a cult. It's about like a cult and a motorcycle gang. It's rough because like you watch documentaries, you read things about like these cults, stuff like that.
Jonestown and
yeah, and like the David's family, like that one was terrifying. It's terrible, but like it makes the backstory, or like this character, the way that she acted, like it provides but it was absolutely terrible to read. Like I was reading and I was literally like, I don't know if I can continue reading this if this was going to keep going on like this. It was,
and I mean, like,
horrible.
One of the not first books, but when I was in high school, I remember I read Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and I still think that is one of the best books of all time. But it's obviously got very graphic sexual abuse in it, and I think that was, again, it was important for the story. It was part of a bigger story, but it was handled well. In like, it was accurate, it was honest, it wasn't trying to glorify anything. Moral of the story: I'm not big on rape plots, but
yes, I agree.
Yeah, having these discussions makes me realize how desensitized I am to this sort of shit. And I think it's a combination of growing up and hearing stories of shit that my family's been exposed to in their lines of work, but also studying the law involved in what happens when you are raped or are a rapist. And I don't know, it really desensitizes you to, you do have a switch you can flick off so you don't go home and start thinking about that shit. So I guess I am able to read about it and be able to compartmentalize it and still carry out my
a certain type of, like, you have to be a very strong person to be able to do that. I'm just not one of those people that can desensitize, and I learned that very early on that I just can't. Yeah, you have to be a special type of person to be able to do that. I think there's like the people that can do it, I take my hats off to them because we need them in this world. But like,
100%.
Definitely.
And on that note, normal people who's going in the fishbowl.
My friend just fucking ruined something in Crescent City 2 for me. Sent me a fucking message. I mean, it's nothing huge. It's nothing huge.
Go on.
It's not huge, but like the fact that she fucking told me.
It's still big. I would be actually like seriously sitting her down for a talk, being like,
why?
Spoilers.
What the fuck?
When we're recording this, I've still been the only one that's read Crescent City 2. Georgia is on it. Ellie is getting there. And I'm trying so hard not to reveal any spoilers. But again, book talk courtesy. Don't spoil books.
Oh my God. I have been avoiding spoilers like the fucking plague.
Especially not the month it comes out. Like,
no, give it a little bit of time.
It's just so much. Like I'm like 100 pages in. Me and my best friend are reading it together in tandem. So we're reading it together. She's a slower reader than me normally, but she's in front of me at the moment because I've been letting it go because I know I can smash out like 300 pages in a night easily.
Is it the friend you're reading with that just spoiled?
Oh, no.
I was going to say, this bitch.
She would never. Etiquette. Would never. No, this is another
etiquette.
So we've also had Tally Cox _ suggest The Husband's Secret by Leanne Moriarty, which I haven't read, but I have watched. It was on Foxtel. The series that was adapted for Leanne Moriarty's book.
Big Little Lies?
Yes, Big Little Lies.
Oh,
I've read the book of that. I've read that book and I've watched that series, and both amazing. I can imagine this would be equally as good.
I've heard about the author. It's like one of those names where you always see the name, you know the name, but just haven't jumped in. So The Husband's Secret on the list.
Yeah, so the blurb for The Husband's Secret is: Cecilia Fitzpatrick, devoted mother, successful Tupperware business owner, and efficient PNC president, has found a letter from her husband. For my wife, Cecilia Fitzpatrick, to be opened only in the event of my death. But Cecilia's husband isn't dead. And when she questions him about it on the plane, Cecilia senses something she hasn't experienced before. John Paul is lying. What happens next changes Cecilia's formerly blissful suburban existence forever, and the consequences will be life-changing for the most unexpected people.
Oh, I would not have a restraint. I'd be reading that letter immediately.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'd be like, fuck that. I can reseal an envelope.
Mhm.
Okay, y'all. The next recommendation we have is by Lily Hogg, and it is 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole.
Ooh.
Let me fucking tell you, I've read this book and it absolutely destroyed my soul.
You haven't let us down yet, Georgia, so I'm intrigued.
I cried. I've got the blurb up for you so I can read it. One kiss lasts a moment, but 1,000 kisses can last a lifetime. One boy, one girl, a bond that is forged in an instant and cherished for a decade. A bond that neither time nor distance can break. A bond that will last forever, or so they believe. When 17-year-old Rooney, there's no way I can say his last name, Christensen. Oh, that's good, Georgia. Wow. Oh dear.
Oh.
When 17-year-old Rune Christensen returns from his native Norway to the sleepy town of Blossom Grove, where he befriended Poppy Litchfield as a child, he has just one thing on his mind. Why did the girl who was one half of his soul, who promised to wait faithfully for his return, cut him off without a word of explanation? Rune's heart was broken 2 years ago when Poppy fell silent. When he discovers the truth, he finds that the greatest heartache is yet to come.
Oh my God.
It's like Notebook vibes.
It is.
Oh.
And let me fucking tell you, oh my God. Just rereading that literally gives me fucking, it's gonna keep me up tonight. I'm just gonna cry myself to sleep.
Oh my God, no.
That's what we want. I want that energy. I want to cry. I love crying. It's going in the jar.
Put it in the fucking jar. Put it in the jar. Put it in the jar. Thank you, Lily. Put it in the jar.
Thank you. Then we have Sarah Marie, who has requested Verity by Colleen Hoover.
Ooh, Ellie's already got it.
But I'm prepared. I'm reading. I'm on the same wavelength here. I've got the blurb, clearly. Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. What Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in the chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read. Page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of the night her family was forever altered. Lowen decides to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, knowing its contents could devastate the already grieving father. But as Lowen's feelings for Jeremy begin to intensify, she recognizes all the ways she could benefit if he were to read his wife's words. After all, no matter how devoted Jeremy is to his injured wife, a truth this horrifying would make it impossible for him to continue loving her. Dun,
Oh
dun,
dear.
dun.
Oh dear.
I've also read this book, and let me tell you, put it in the fucking jar.
I'm excited. It's got a thriller that will keep you up all night and a twist that will keep you reeling.
Honestly, the problem is this book, right? You think it's going one way the entire time, and then it takes a turn, and you're like, oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, and then it takes another turn, and you're like, oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, and then at the end, like literally right at the end, it's just like, boom, another plot twist, and you're like, the fuck is going on? Fuck.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
intrigued.
I'm intrigued.
It's beautiful.
So they are our recommendations from you guys. So please send us DMs. Hit us up. If you see it in our story that we want requests, please send through your requests. You know me, I love a fantasy moment. Please don't leave me hanging. But I also have a fantasy novel supplier to keep us going in a long winter. So it's absolutely fine.
Yes. And if you have any smart books, please.
Smart.
It's probably already on my list to.
George has probably already read it.
I've probably already read it, and I've probably already tried to convince these girls to read it too. So, but romance, smart, fantasy. Hit us with them.
Love it. Absolutely love it. For the next part of our little get to know ya Q&A fishbowl moment, we've made up some questions so that you can get to know us. I know, it's super exciting. So First question, everyone. Out of all of the books we've covered so far, so out of our first 10 episodes, which character do you identify with the most?
Imagine if your answer was Annie Wilkes.
Dirty bird.
Yeah,
Dirty bird. Go for it, Georgia.
So this one was actually a tough one for me. So I was talking to Briony about this before the episode started, and I was like, I don't really know. Like, there's little bits and pieces from a lot of different characters. So that's kind of where I went with this. So I ended up picking Tate from Ugly Love. She's the only one that I had like a connection with. And you guys even said it yourself. There were similarities between some of the ways that she acted.
They're the same person.
Yeah. One of the main things that I noticed about her was the fact that she loved really quickly and really, really hard. And that's me to a T. I've been with men who are absolutely terrible for me, and I knew it at the time, and I would still try to be with them. I would try to fix them, and I would try to get them to open up to me and love me the way that I loved them, whatever. And that's just the way that I see Tate. I feel like she would have given up her own happiness for the sake of someone else's, and she would have done that for Miles, and I feel like I would do that for people too. And she's also got an attitude, and she has like a sense of humor. She's also probably kind of kinky. So, you know, so I felt like she was probably the character that I vibed with the most because of those reasons, because I just felt like there was some similarities that I saw and that I could kind of picture myself in her with little bits and pieces. So that was what I thought.
Fucking accurate.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, Jesus.
Yep. Jesus, absolutely accurate. So my one, I know this is probably going to surprise absolutely no one, but Feyre is my character. And on a superficial level, I mean, like, I'm the youngest of 3 sisters. I literally studied art at university, went to art school and did painting. But on like a, yeah, on a bit of a deeper level, when Akatar came into my life, I was in the process of pulling myself out of a relationship that wasn't healthy for me. Everyone said that this person was like, they were such a good guy, they were so good for you, why can't you just be happy? And wanted me to just kind of conform and stay how they thought I was, who I'd been before, but I'd evolved, and I was in a really bad spot. And the only person that pulled me out happened to be this guy that everyone thought was the bad guy and was awful. And he was actually the person that helped me become me again and pull myself out. So Feyre, and especially A Court of Mist and Fury, that whole story arc has like a very special spot in my heart.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh,
Yummy boy.
Yeah.
And we love Sam. We love Sam.
No one tells Sam I like him.
Yeah. Don't
mustn't know.
Don't let them think we like them. We don't. Free to mean, keep them keen. That's what.
Exactly right. That's how we roll. Oh, well, I'm not sure it really resonated with anyone yet. I mean, like, my life's pretty far removed from all of the characters that we've encountered thus far. Like, I had kids in my early 20s. Before that, I was in law school, so I didn't really have much of a life. I met my partner when I was 19, and we've been together ever since. And like, now I'm navigating mum life and returning to work and that like monotonous daily work-life balance struggle, and doesn't really make for interesting times. But there is a person who probably I relate to most. Well, there's 2, and that's the combo of Monique from Evelyn Hugo, who doesn't play much of a featuring role, but a big part of her journey within that book is discovering the confidence within herself to advocate for herself in like professional and personal relationships, which, you know, I'm learning that I need to do that. I need to put my big girl pants on. You know, I'm a clever cookie. I know what I'm doing. I just need to be able to tell my bosses that I know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to get there. And then the other character, maybe a little bit Azriel. I'm not saying I'm not the most beautiful man in the world. I'm not saying that.
But you
I
are.
know.
But I'm saying we've heard
Secretly
Sarah
kinky?
say, but like, exterior, he's not given anything away. You've got no idea. You've got no idea what's going on in that little brain of his. But then there's just these little glimpses where you're like, oh, sorry, what? And I feel like I keep up a really good facade of being a bit like flustered when it comes to smart. But my brain's a little bit kinky. And it does come out at times, and I have shocked you all a few times,
Yeah.
and I will continue to do so.
Oh,
Brilliant.
Yes.
this is fantastic.
I love corruption.
Yes.
Also, for everyone that is audio only and has not had a chance to look at Ellie, Ellie is a specimen, and she also has like crazy blue eyes. So when she's talking about Azrael is actually like gorgeous, you are also gorgeous.
And I'm also narcissistic, so that's why I picked the most beautiful character in the books to relate to myself.
That's actually a weird segue into why I couldn't sleep last night. I was telling Georgia, we like go to bed, Sam's already instantly asleep, and I'm just lying there like, but what if there was 8 sins? What are the 7 sins? Oh, I can't remember that one. Oh, it's gluttony. But what if there were 8? What if the 8th one was narcissism? And then my brain went TED Talk. And then I was like, oh, it's 1 a.m. and I'm still awake and just lying there like.
8th sin, narcissism.
Have you ever encountered a narcissist?
Yes.
I've many narcissists.
Okay, next question. Out of any book you've read, including the books we haven't covered, which character do you identify with the most?
A little spin on like our first one, just a little bit of like an expanded range.
Yes.
Well, when I close my eyes, and like, I don't know about you guys, but every time I read a book, I try to picture myself as the main character. And that probably has something to do with whether or not I like the book so much, is whether or not I'm like, I'm a good person.
Yes.
Me, fictional me. But when I close my eyes and I picture myself as a character, it is goddamn Lila Bard from A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. Basically, the premise for that book is that there are 3 worlds that overlap slightly, and they all have varying levels of access to magic. Lila is basically a pickpocket from a world without magic and pickpockets her way into a realm that has an abundance of magic and is basically like, fuck yeah, this is the shit. She's really like harsh, and she's kind of abrupt and in your face. She's not apologetic. She's just figuring herself out and completely like relentless force of nature. I love her. I mean, it doesn't hurt as well that she has short, like dark hair.
There you go.
Hit the nail on the head.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Well, I wasn't really reading until we started the podcast. Like, I was reading in high school, but then I stopped when I started studying law, which is exactly what Claire's doing, because the abundance of reading you get when you start a law degree is no joke. So anyway, a lot of the books pre-podcast that I was reading were of the late 2000s era. None of them are really relevant to me then, but there was a lot of Jodi Picoult.
Oh, Jodi Picoult.
You've read any of her books, her main characters are usually middle-aged women with a wine problem. And I'm guessing kind of relevant. It kind of tracks right now. So kind of concerning for me, but anywho.
Love
Oh,
that.
I used to love a Jodi Picoult.
Like My Sister's Keeper and that 19 minutes one.
Yep. My sister's keeper. My God, trauma.
Oh.
So yeah, okay. So me and Briony were talking about this before the podcast, and Briony said she started it off. She was like, I can see you as Aelin. Aelin from Throne of Glass, that is grass. Throne of Grass.
All the way.
I love that you're thinking of a weed, and I'm thinking of my child pulling out grass.
Yeah. So yeah, and like I agree with that in a certain way. I can see similarities, and like I have thought of that before. So like Aelin, she just has like an attitude. Her vibe in general, it's just like she's sassy. She knows she's hot, so she flaunts it. She's loves lacy lingerie and nightgowns, and she loves chocolate cake.
Yeah, she does.
And I also love all of those things. And also, there's also another person that I very, very, very much feel like I vibe with, and that is Bryce from Crescent City, because she swears like a sailor and she drinks like she's got a serious alcoholic problem, and that is also me.
I mean, obviously, I don't know how many times I can say it. I might as well get it tatted across my forehead. I'm a Sarah J. Maas simp. JJ Maas is just like, it's like she reads my soul and she makes it a character. I love Aylin. It's just like this swaggering, like over the top confidence. Like, I am the hottest shit in the room. Bryce is the same swaggering confidence that just exudes from them. And that's what you want in life. Like, you want to be that confident that anyone could think anything about you and you're like, I know my shit and I know I'm hot as fuck. To fuck you all.
I just love I just think their like attitudes are just everything, because I feel like I am like an asshole to a degree. And so I like the fact that they're assholes, but they're nice assholes. So I feel like that's me.
Yeah.
I'm like a nice asshole.
I love a woman that's secure about her body and her what she brings. Like, I have insecurities when it comes to asking for more money and knowing my worth professionally, because I feel like once you have that chip on your shoulder of being like, oh, I've been out of the workplace for a little while, I'm coming back in, and it's like, oh, I've got to prove myself again. No, you fucking don't. You're qualified. You're fine. You haven't been out of the game that long. But in terms of who I am as a person, I sit well with that. Like, you don't have to like me, that's fine. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm my cup of tea.
I love that.
I'm also a narcissistic bitch, so
oh dear. So the next question is, what is your favorite book that you have read and released, if possible, from the last year?
Ooh. I mean, when we're recording this, it is literally the last day of February.
It is.
It's only been 2 months.
Only been 2 months of this year.
Only been 2 months.
Technically last year, I would give as well.
Look, I'll go because I'm not interesting. As I said, I haven't been reading for a while. I'm catching up. I started with Akatar last year, and that's like Thorns and Roses last year. So I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball. So I think my answer is Crescent City, because I am reading number 1 at the moment. My plan is to read number 2 as quickly as I can. So that will be my next one.
I'm so excited. I want to die. So far this year, what I've been reading is, I'm still in a book hangover from House of Sky and Breath, Crescent City 2, because that has traumatized my soul. And I'm still trying not to say spoilers or avoid anything. Don't even look at me, Georgia. But it's still the most intense book hangover I've had in a long time. But if we're looking before that, the most exciting book that I read that was released last year was Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff. And I know I keep talking about this motherfucker. It's my soapbox. Deal with it. This man is incredible. The book is incredible. There's gorgeous artwork. And even like Joseph Morgan, the guy who plays Klaus from Vampire Diaries, he says he got a copy and he says it's his favourite vampire book.
Oh,
I'm reading it.
So what are you going to do with that?
Do with that.
It's not often that Briony speaks of a man so highly.
An author.
I know. He's like an Australian author and he's really good. He's really good at dark shit as well. Weird segue. When Twilight first came out, and this is back like I'm like a scaredy cat. In my head, before I'd even read the book, like my friends were telling me about it and I'm imagining like the entire book I'm imagining is almost like a black and white movie. Like there's, for some reason I was imagining it like no colour. It's like, you know, dried dead trees, haunted house. Not what Twilight is. Jay kind of encapsulates that dark, moody vibe very, very well. His characters are very well rounded. He also
Anyone
Oh,
has
wants some good Twilight content, check out Briony's TikTok page. She has
Oh my God, please.
she's done some scenes.
Oh my God.
Yes, Briony's TikTok.
I went to
Epic.
a forest one time.
She did. She went to a
She
farm.
did.
I couldn't help it.
Recreating.
Also, I was in a full Twilight phase in like 2008. Like I had shirts, I had the calendar, I had the movie companion. I saw the first movie in the cinema 8 times. I read the books 13 times.
Okay, so were you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Team Edward.
I was Team Edward.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad we're all on the same page.
Yeah, Team Edward. There was no question in my brain there.
No.
Yeah, I had a long thing. I even had a long thing. Puns. I'm a child. Even now, actually, I have a weird thing. I don't like love interests younger than you.
Yeah.
So that was always going to be a thing for me.
Aiden is 2 months younger than me.
Eh,
But he's also like triple my height and triple my build. So
It makes up for it. It cancels out.
yeah.
Sam's older than you. He's older than Lockie.
Yeah. We're like this. We're literally the same height and size. I can wear his pants, except my thighs are bigger than his.
Fucking men.
Men. Oh, I had a crush on Lockie in high school. He was in year 11 when I was in year 8.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh my god, we're saucy.
Sam would have bullied me in high school.
Yeah, Lockie was the popular guy, so he would have had no idea I existed. I just used to see him in the hallways and be like, oh my god. It's that guy with the blonde tips and the earring.
Oh my god, I love it. Oh my gosh. Sorry, again, Georgia can't stick to any rules. They're like, yeah, like just a couple books, and Georgia's like 8.
Oh my god, you weren't shitting me. There's like
how many? I can't read more than one at a time.
I read and I apologize. Yeah, I was reading like 4 books at once before, so I just can't help myself. I get involved in too many books. I get too hyped and then I can't stop. Okay, so this year there were 2 books. There was Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover, and I fucking loved that book. So it's basically about a mother who gave birth in prison, and she's finally released, and she is trying to find her daughter, and there's like a whole lot to it. It's really deep, and it's really, really challenging to read, but it's really beautiful to read. I just loved it. It was heartbreaking. It was beautiful. I loved it.
I feel like I remember seeing your Snapchats and you were just like,
literally tears. Again, with every Colleen Hoover book, I am just in tears. And then we've got Zodiac Academy, book 7. So Zodiac Academy is a 7-book series at the moment, and it's like Harry Potter, but zodiac signs. That's the vibe.
I like that.
Oh, for a minute, I thought it was one I'd pre-ordered, but no, that was Atlas 6.
Yeah, so it's like Harry Potter, but zodiac signs. I am very, very, very passionate about this series. I love this series.
I do want to read this series.
Yeah.
Pop it in the jar.
So the first 3 books are relatively slow. It's slow. It's like the end of it's like the 4th book, really, that when you start getting into it, you start getting really attached to the characters. It's basically, so these twins find, like, these human twins, well, they think they're human, find out that they're actually these, like, long-lost princesses of this, like, magical realm. And in the realm, there's this high school, and they've got to, like, finish high school. It's this whole thing. In that realm, there's these 4 big, tough, hot male heirs.
You've already got me.
Yes, that are like protecting, and they're like, these princesses don't know anything about this. We've been brought up in this, and oh my gosh, the tension, there's smut. The author, her name is Caroline Peckham, and I have her on TikTok. She is hilarious. She is so funny, and she writes good smut. I will put it out there. She does. She writes smut. I enjoy her.
Put that bad boy
on the list. It's on the list. We'll read it. As I said, the first couple books are a little bit slow, but once you get into it, it's like balls deep. I smashed through that series, the end of that series, like within, I reckon, about a week. I was like, bye. And they're chunky boys too. They're not small boys. So
I do like a chunky boy.
Yes. And then just to add another one in the mix.
Oh.
It's the book called Redeemed by Lauren Asher. It is a Formula One driver's series.
Is this the one on TikTok?
Yeah. So it's the Dirty Air series. It was one of my favorite non-fantasy series, but it's basically about like this Formula One driver who it's the 4th book in the series. I don't know if I already said that, but it's the 4th book. So, but it's not a series that you necessarily have to read in order.
Okay.
You kind of just pick up a book, and it's like about different characters in the main book, if that makes sense. This one is about a Formula One driver whose whole life was Formula One driving, and he loses half of his leg in a really bad car accident. And it's like about how he's coping with, obviously, everything that is his whole life comes crashing down. And this girl like stumbles into his life, like just in the weirdest way. She's like a thief. It's this whole thing, and he ends up, they do this like fake dating trope. It's one
I love a fake dating trope.
and then turns into like a love story. And it was my favorite book, I think, out of the series, except the first one was very good, but I think that this one was very, very good as well. So
I'm intrigued. I actually follow Formula One as well. So
it is a very good series. Lauren Asher, she's got a way with words. I really, really, really enjoy it.
Briony's like, what is Formula One?
What is this?
I'm like,
Vroom vroom cars.
what?
All I know is there's a hot guy, a hot girl, and that's what we want.
Yeah, look at us go, guys, having a good discussion, making the good suggestions. The next bit is, what is your next book on your personal to-be-read list?
So the book that I am currently reading, I'm currently reading Crescent City 2, as like I've already discussed this. Briony's trying not to spoil anything for me, and especially because I'm one of those diggers, I'm like, what are you saying, Briony? And I like look into everything she's saying.
I'm like, don't look at me.
And Jordan's like, what are you saying, Briony?
I have an awful poker face as well. I'm not good at lying. So for me, it's like,
see it if you've watched the previous episode about Silver Flames. There's a moment where Briony's like trying not to say anything, and I'm like, you just see me squinting at her like, what are you saying? I'm looking into everything she's saying, and I'm like piecing it together.
Yeah, by the time this episode comes out, our Silver Flames episode, it was done in a part 1 and a part 2, and part 1 was before Crescent City 2 came out, and part 2 was after, and I'm not the same.
No, she's not. And like, hopefully by the time this episode comes out, I will be finished Crescent City 2. I'm hoping. Because I've got some busy weekends coming up. So
I need someone to talk to. I keep hitting people up on TikTok and no one's answering me.
Well, you've got Georgia sitting there like looking at you trying to work it out, and then you've got me sitting there like, what?
Why are you staring? Why are you squinting?
So yeah, I'm reading Crescent City 2, but I am also, because as they said, I cannot stop reading. I read multiple books at once. I just finished reading the It Ain't Me, Babe by Tilly Cole. And that's about it's about a cult, and it's about a motorcycle gang, and it's the back end of the book, like the bones of the book have the capacity to be so very, very good. Like, I love the storyline, the cult, the motorcycle gang, the forbidden love, all for it. But the first book wasn't the best, but it was all right. And it's made me want to read the second book. So now I am currently reading Crescent City 2 and also Heart Recaptured, which is the second in the Hangman series.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I like cults and I like motorcycle clubs.
that's exactly what I was thinking. You see? So that's what I'm really into. My mum recommended this book. My mum, she's a little smutty devil. Bless her.
Shout out to Tracy.
Shout out to Tracy. We love you. Yeah. So my mum recommended this one to me. She was a little bit like, when I said to her to read 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole, she was like, oh yeah, thinking like this book, like Hades Hangman, like cult motorcycle gang. And she read it, and she was reading it on the plane, and she said that she cried, and she's like, I hate you. I cried the entire way on the plane home. I hate you. I was like,
sorry.
But yeah, so that's what I'm reading. What about you guys? What are you guys currently reading?
I'm still stuck on Crescent City. This is the first one at the moment.
Oh.
So I'm into chapter 1. It's a new one. I've cracked it. And other than that, Eric Carlisle's The Very Hungry Caterpillar.
Oh, good.
On repeat.
Oh, how are you coping with the info dump of Crescent?
Yeah, it's a big.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Like, there are a lot of species. I'm trying to figure out where they all live, and then I'm also sitting here thinking, Fae, interesting. Sarah, you have another book about Fae. Are they related? Are they the same Fae?
Yeah.
Are they not? I don't know.
Yeah, always trying to connect those breadcrumbs that Sarah leaves.
Sarah is just, again, I've always said she doesn't, and she just sprinkles, and you just end up in like a fucking fever dream.
Yeah, I'm like highlighting things, like what's relevant. Everything's relevant.
And like, when you're trying, there's like, you know, that there's that meme of that guy, and there's like
from It's Always Sunny. Yep.
yes, and I was like, oh, and he's like, That is literally trying to figure out like where the worlds are, like what the different places in the world are. Like that's what you're trying to figure out. That is us in Crescent City.
And for any help, like even like before Crescent City had come out, I'd read Throne of Glass, the full series, and like Akatar, the full series. Like, so Sarah does Fae books. Fae in general is not a spoiler in any way or any big theory. So if that's any comfort, she's a Fae gal. They like to sprinkle that in there. Yeah, Sarah is just out here to ruin our lives, and I'm so eternally grateful for it.
What about you, Darls? What are you reading?
I'm still recovering from Crescent City 2, as I've said. Biggest book hangover I've had in ages. So I'm going to try and read The Love Hypothesis next.
I really enjoyed that book. I did.
This one.
Yeah, The Love Hypothesis. There you are.
It's got a very innocent cover, but I've heard that it's not so innocent.
And it's based on like a Raylo like Star Wars fan fiction. Like that was the idea. And the artist is Lithersaw, who is one of my favourite not safe for work artists, who does Raylo not safe for work fan art. So I'm just like,
look, you can't ask me when it comes to smut, because my taste in smut is the extreme end of the scale.
George is like, spit in my mouth and call it a day. Like, I'm fine.
Like, I'm like, literally, I can't say it on here. George is like, she was gonna, and then I was like, my mother. As I was saying this, I was like, I cannot, my mother.
Okay,
Tracy, this is your warning. Please, just for 30 seconds, just skip ahead.
You know she won't. You know. Look, I'm like, spit in my mouth, hold knife to my throat. I don't care at this point. Like, we're doing Den of Vipers type shit here, right?
I wanted to pretend you didn't have a knife trope.
Look, I have read The Extreme of the Extreme. I have enjoyed The Extreme of the Extreme. So this book, like Love Hypothesis, wasn't necessarily. What are you writing?
I just realised knife trope from Blood and Ash.
We forgot about it.
Blood and Ash, Throne of Glass, even like fucking hell, Jesus. But yeah, so like I'm not one to really talk, but like it wasn't like super smutty, but it was good. The good thing about those rom-com type romances is that they do have good sex scenes. So yeah, I really enjoyed that book. I don't think I rated it as highly as I did like the Spanish Love Deception, for example. Spanish Love Deception I really loved, but I think it was still one of my favorites out of the rom-coms. Do like it. Yes.
Interesting.
Right.
I'm sure you will enjoy it, Briony.
I'm sure I will too. On that note, I'm putting the lid on the fishbowl. We've got some.
Shake him.
Yeah.
Yay.
I realised I just shook. The jar didn't shake.
Come on.
I'm good at this. Yes.
So we will be picking. So next week we're going to be covering one of George's smutty books. For a little bit different, because I feel like we've covered quite mild smut. Sorry if you guys think
Silver Flames wasn't mild. There was cum behind the ear.
Oh yeah, but like
I'm so excited to delve into my religious trauma.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Sorry, guys. So we're reading Priest, which is a book that I have recommended earlier. We are reading it next. So that's going to be next week. And then the book we're going to be picking tonight, the book that we're going to be reading after that. Let's pick the fucking book. Jesus Christ.
Let's pick the book.
All right. So picking from the fishbowl.
Woo!
Okay. Why did I put the lid on? This shit is actually sealed in very nicely. Okay.
Airtight.
I'm excited. I don't know why. I'm like, oh my God.
I know. I'm like, it's like a Losho.
Okay. All right. Ready? Oh, fuck yeah. Kingdom of the Wicked.
I can't see.
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So is that part of a series?
It is the first book in a 3-book series. The third book is going to come out soon. And so once we finish Kingdom of the Wicked, we can put in the sequel, Kingdom of the Cursed.
Yeah,
love that.
Oh, that is super exciting. Yay!
Exciting.
I actually really want to reread it again because I want to look at it through like a different kind of light, because I was very judgmental when I first went into that book, because I was like, from Blood and Ash, like, you know, I was in like the mindset of like Sarah J. Maas from Blood and Ash, like very, you know.
And it's different.
It
But
is, but it's
Kerry is really good at very beautiful scenery and locations.
Oh, is this the food one?
The food one.
Oh, I'm here.
You're going to want your sangria for this one. It's got a sangria recipe in the book.
Oh, well, that might be our drink.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe we should make like a joint one. So, yeah, so we've got Priest next, then we've got Kingdom of the Wicked. Get fucking pumped. Let's do it. So, yeah, that's about it. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to mention before we get in? Oh, go follow us on TikTok. We're going to start
social media plug. We're going to do this.
popping the hell off. So,
TikTok.
Ellie is reforming our Instagram, like you, Ellie. So we are going to be very active on that. We're going to try to get back into TikTok a little bit more. We've kind of been dropping off. So if there's anything like, you know, that you guys want to recommend to us, or like you guys see a really funny TikTok and you're like, you guys should recreate this, like just send it to us. Fuck it up.
Yeah, we're up for anything.
Honestly.
Treat us like your book talk friends, because we are.
Yeah.
Look, Georgia just went and got book talk tattoos.
Yeah,
Briony, oh, look, have a look at them. They're beautiful.
Okay. It ends with us.
I've got an Akatar tattoo.
I have commitment issues. I'm a little bit terrified to get a tattoo, but I have told the girls for the podcast I'll do it on the sole of my foot.
So maybe we should like see.
You could get a sole of your foot tattoo because we're soulmates.
Oh, rip my heart out. Look, guys, we've got some good content going for you.
It'll be an interesting time.
Oh, on that note,
Yeah,
please like and follow us on Instagram. We've got a link tree there that can link you to all the places. Yep. Subscribe to our podcast and wherever you listen. Hit us up. Please rate us as well. Apparently that is helpful. That's what all the people say on all the other podcasts. So I feel like I should just copy and paste that shit, and surely it's effective, right?
Rate us 5 stars, or else I'm going to come for you.
Oh, yes.
George is like, I'm going to spit in your mouth, and not in a good way.
Oh, I can't handle that.
Yeah, but true, I fucking will.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.